An adult was a teenager, was a child, was a toddler, was an infant, was a fetus, was an embryo, was a zygote. It goes all the way back, and there is no one point. There is no personhood fairy that's there to say, now you have real individuality. No, it goes all the way back to conception. Are we going to discriminate based on age in a way that is lethal? No. That's unethical, that's immoral, and you don't need religion to get there.
The pro-life movement began as a civil rights movement. For the first portion of the movement, they did not want to have the movement being identified with Catholicism. So they were very careful about presenting a civil rights and a human rights angle on the movement, where nowadays nobody will even hear pro-life and think anything else but, oh, Christian, religious.
The abortion movement's strategy was to make this a religious issue. They pitted, the enlightened, progressive abortion supporters versus those backward Catholics. And by doing that, they completely marginalized any non-Catholic opposition to abortion in the public sphere and in the media. And we're still seeing the reverberations of that today. And whenever a pro-life leader assumes that every pro-lifer is Christian, they walk right into the pro-choice trap. It's been laid there by design, and they've got to stop. Whoever wants to help us save babies is welcome.
When someone gives a religious argument, immediately the person says, oh, I don't have to listen to that because I'm not a Christian, therefore they will throw out the entire message.
Look at human trafficking. If you look at human trafficking, you see lots of faith-based organizations working against human trafficking because it's part of their faith and good for them. But nobody ever says, well, human trafficking must be a religious issue. No. And that's how abortion's got to be. It's got to be in that sort of frame. I was introduced a while ago, so let me reiterate that I'm Kelsey Hazzard, and I'm the president of secularprolife.org. And I'm here to talk to you about how you can encourage religious diversity in your campus groups. And I'd like to begin by discussing why it's desirable to do so, particularly those of you who are on a church-affiliated campus. You may not quite know why I'm here. The pro-abortion movement wants the abortion debate to be about religion and not about human rights. And it's been that way from the very beginning. If you read what Dr. Bernard Nathanson, the founder of Nello, has to say, the Catholic Church was the villain. And it's a very transparent strategy, but it has been remarkably effective. Abortion advocates point to the participation of Christians and churches in the pro-life movement, and from there leap to the conclusion that it's a religious issue that the government has no business being involved with. And I don't dispute that religious groups have contributed substantially, but let me illustrate the flaw in that argument. Christians are heavily involved in anti-poverty activism. In fact, the Bible has more to say about poverty than any other social justice topic. But when was the last time you heard somebody scream that anti-poverty legislation is an attempt by religious extremists to force our beliefs down our throats? That is how ridiculous the pro-abortion argument is. They ignore the fact that social justice is valued by religious and non-religious people alike. But through sheer repetition, they have convinced many non-Christians that they would not be welcome in the pro-life movement. That in turn has caused many prominent pro-life groups to tailor themselves to Christians, since they figure everyone else has already been lost to the opposition. The problem with that approach is that we want to make abortion unthinkable for everyone, not just for committed Christians. But we are going to put an end to this vicious cycle. If you were at the march yesterday, you probably saw the signs that Students for Life had. It said, "We are the pro-life generation." And you're probably familiar, with all the surveys to that effect. Here's a poll that you may be less familiar with. According to the Pew Center for Religion and Public Life, nearly a quarter of people between the ages of 18 and 29 practice no religion. We are more pro-life and less religious than ever before. That is the dynamic. And it is up to you to capture the enthusiasm of non-religious pro-lifers on your campus, because I promise you they are out there.